Let me start with something which might surprise you. You do not need hours a day to learn English. Honestly, 5, 10, 15 minutes per day is probably enough. Not to become Shakespeare overnight enough, but real, confident, everyday English enough. So this video is perfect for you to be able to maximize the little time you have to become as confident and fluent in English as possible. And I'm going to show you how to use those few minutes properly. Let's get started! First up, first and foremost, it is the chunk method. This means you don't learn single words on their own like recommend, idea, time. Because learning words on their own is kind of a little bit useless. Like owning one shoe or one slipper in this case. Instead, you need to learn chunks. In other words, short, natural phrases. Because context is everything. I'd recommend you... That reminds me of an idea I had. I'm sorry, I don't really have the time to... Native speakers don't build sentences word by word. We often recycle ready-made phrases. Do this and your brain stops panicking every time you're going to open your mouth. So remember, don't focus on individual words, but rather concentrate on ready-made phrases, expressions, and idioms, of course. The next tip is something that you're probably sick and tired of hearing me repeat over and over again. It is shadowing. I'm sure you're already familiar with it, but essentially it is where you listen to a native speaker and repeat after them. Really focusing on the sounds and trying to copy the pronunciation, the stress, and even the attitude. Let's practice nice and quickly. So remember, repeat after me as accurately as possible. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Long time no see. Good job. Let's do a couple more. How's work going? What's new? Tell me everything. Bravo, bravo. One more. Well, I have some big news. I'm gonna get married next year. So, how was that? If you do like shadowing, just let me know in the comments and I'll prepare another shadowing video, which will be a nice long one that I could post next week if you want. And you might feel a little bit silly at first. And well, that's normal, but who cares? I'm sure you already talk to yourself in your head. And this is almost like just doing it out loud. So to become more fluent and to improve your pronunciation to sound more native, shadowing is one of the best methods that exists. If you're anything like me, then you probably struggle to really memorize and integrate new vocabulary. Words go in one ear and out the other. When you're speaking, you're thinking, what was that word? It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. That's why it is key to review vocabulary. And one of the best methodologies to do this is using flashcards. But not just with one word, one translation, and then it's gone forever. Instead, when going over flashcards, you should have the phrase or expression, an example sentence, or 2 or 3 if possible, and pronunciation practice so you can actually say the word when you are testing your memory. Practice makes progress, and in the end, hopefully, practice makes perfect. So say the word out loud, again and again and again. And a great time to review your flashcards is, well, when you go to the toilet, just before you go to bed, maybe whilst you're having lunch, these typical dead moments that you wouldn't be doing anything productive otherwise, so why not go over your flashcards? So finally, fingers crossed, these new words and phrases actually stick in your head. Touch wood. Ultimately, to improve your speaking skills, you need to, well, speak. If you're lucky, you might already have some English-speaking friends who you can practice with. Whether that's sending voice notes, having a weekly call to catch up, or meeting up with them face to face in the real world to, well, just speak. But let's be honest. If you're watching this, I imagine you don't have too many people that you can actually practice speaking with, whether that's online or in person. So in that case, what should you do? You could do a language exchange with someone who speaks English, so you can speak half of the time in English and the other half of the time in your language. This is great because at the end of the day, it's free. You could find an English teacher, whether that's private classes or group classes. This, at the end of the day, is an investment, so it costs money. And if you'd like to join my classes, I'll leave a link in the description. But some people just don't have time for classes either. That's where AI practice is brilliant. It is a game changer. You can hesitate, make mistakes, be corrected, and it is a judgment-free zone. There is a plethora of AI language learning apps that you can check out, and I'm sure all of them offer a free trial, and you could just speak to ChatGPT or Gemini if you don't want to invest any money. And you can try my app as well, English with Lewis, but more about that later. As your English gets better and better, and as you go from B1 to B2, and you want to push yourself and reach C1 or even a C2 level, you really need to focus on expressions, phrasal verbs, and slang. And a piece of advice that I was given when I was studying languages at university is that little and often is much better than cramming and knuckling down before an exam. So if you've got a lot on your plate, then just focus on learning one expression every day. Just one. Like, that rings a bell. It sounds familiar. I'm on the fence. I can't choose between two sides. Or, sorry, it slipped my mind. I forgot about it. Those are just 3 examples. Learning a language is a marathon and not a sprint. If you really push yourself to learn in 1 week, 1 month, then you'll probably end up burning out, and in the long term, you won't improve your English. So take it easy and think about the long run. If you learn an expression every single day and retain it using flashcards, well, in a year, you have 365 new expressions. So in a decade, you have 3,650 new expressions? I don't even know if we have that many expressions in English. So take it easy, don't stress out, and don't burn out either. You can do this! My 6th and final point is role plays. Because English isn't for exams, it's for real life. If you need an IELTS or Cambridge exam to study abroad, to get into uni or similar, then fair enough. I understand why you are studying and training specifically for an exam. But even if on your CV it says that you have a C1 level of English, and you arrive at an interview, and you can't actually do the interview fluently and confidently in English, then the exam, the certificate, is worthless. It's useless. It's not worth anything. That's why I don't specifically focus on exams, but I focus on using English and actually learning English for real life situations. So whether it is actually having real life situations in English or practicing role plays in class, with friends, or with AI, it will give you lifelong skills that you'll actually be able to use when you are living in English. Practice ordering coffees. having job interviews, having small talk at parties, awkward phone calls that many of us hate, negotiating in English, going shopping and trying on clothes. If you practice doing these things when the pressure isn't on, when you actually have the opportunity to do it, your brain will think, oh, okay, I'm ready. I can do this. Come on. Above all, quick role plays are a great way of boosting your confidence. So there, in total, you have 6 practical tips that you can add to your daily routine, even if you only have 5, 10, or 15 minutes available to improve your English every single day. As I said, little and often is a great way to learn a language in the long term. Let's recap. Stop learning individual words, but focus on phrases, chunks. Practice shadowing, listening to native speakers and repeating after them. Use flashcards to really retain and learn vocabulary off by heart. Practice speaking, of course, with friends, teachers, or AI. Slow and steady wins the race. In other words, focus on just 1 or 2 new expressions per day, but do it over a long period of time. And role plays are a fantastic way of boosting your confidence and preparing you for real life in English. And do you want to know the best part? You can do all of this inside my brand new app, English with Lewis. Chunk-based learning, shadowing, flashcards and pronunciation, speaking with AI and my voice, and new expressions every single day. Some features are absolutely free, or if you're curious, you can try out all of the features for absolutely nothing with a 7-day free trial. So download English with Lewis. There's a link in the description. It's available to download on the App Store, and the Android version is almost ready. Almost! And very important, bear in mind, 5 to 15 minutes every day beats 2 hours once per month. Every single time. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!